What's up, Union Arena players? This is Kyle D, better known as Unionversity, and today we're going to be doing none other than our weekly meta English report. So without further ado, let's get into the video, shall we? So guys, if you want your deck to be represented in this, you need to post this online so where I can find it. But using this data right here, this is kind of what we're expecting to see more and more of. I have a few other things we need to chat about, but this is kind of where the meta is starting to shape up. Getting into week 3, you kind of start seeing the good, the bads, the, you know, what decks are kind of just going to be that overarching entity that you know is going to show up. You're going to have some of them that are going to start spicing things up because new deck designs exist, but taking a look right now, this is kind of a solid what we're expecting. So Kurapika is up at the 10+ mark as always this week. This one, but Old Man Yamamoto taking from 2 wins last week to actually 1 win last week all the way up to 7 wins this week is kind of amazing in my opinion. Either people are starting to adapt how to play Yamamoto, or they're just getting comfortable enough to know how to play it, and maybe the lack of Toshiro is just a sign of the times where if Toshi's not as prevalent in your locals, Yamamoto definitely does a lot more damaging. He just has a hard loss to Toshiro. So if Toshiro is a more dominant threat at your locals, Yamamoto just kind of falls off to the wayside. But Yamamoto can handle Kurapika very easily into the format. So if your locals are very highly dominated by Kurapika, Captain Yamamoto really puts in work just to be able to counteract that style of play. Then we do have regular Bleach Ichigo. You know, this deck is going to stick around for a while, and Toshi's always in that same category. They're all kind of in that 7 wins this week that I've found. But then you have raidless Bleach, obviously taking into the higher 9 slot, almost reaching 10 this week. But then we also have had 4 Byakuya Kuchiki style of tops. They focus around having Byakuya in the list. It plays a little bit more with Renji and Byakuya and a little less of the Ichigos, but it at least has this kind of interesting way of playing, you know. Then we did get the Stern Ritter deck. The Stern Ritter still pops up from time to time, being able to take in the top 4 slot of the winnings. So we do have one list to look over. Then you do have regular bombers. One list took it, but they didn't really post, so I couldn't use that data. But the Gon is going to represent hybrid. We've had a few hybrid lists. I think we got like 2 to 3 that topped, where it's a fusion of the bombers together with the slots, so it became slotless bombers, to be straight honest with you. And it's a unique style of play because it plays similar to raidless Bleach in the same sense, because you have all these great 4,000 DP drops that are just going to do a lot of shenanigans. And then we had one green Gon winner, and then one Killua, which is slots top, and then we did have one of the 0 drop rush decks that we discussed in last week's video. So, but Crollo and Zoldyck family nowhere to be found this week, sadly. You guys kind of fell off a little bit, and I expect that. It's just the meta, when you have these strong of a hits, these guys don't contend very comfortably into those big boys. Now, let's see. So here's a Kurapika list. Very stock. 1 Leorio. And that's not bad. And then you have 2 of the Hisoka. Sorry, my brain is out of it. But having Leorio and Hisoka in the list is kind of interesting to me. It's a very unique style of play, but let's see if this continues going forwards. But let's go. Then we do have the 3rd place one. This is playing Hisoka, but with 1 Leorio. But also, do they play the other Leorio that gets something? No, they're playing Pookie, which is a very interesting tack, actually. I have to look into Pookie itself. But with Kurapika, you're very solid into this format. It's just that powerful of a deck. If you're thinking about any high-end events, just take Kurapika, because that's just how that's going to go. Then in the second place division here, you have Kurapika as well with similar. Wait, is this the same? No, second and third, almost mirroring list. Kind of crazy to me. Very similar, but only 2 neons is interesting to me. But and then they have the Leorio that'll get back the raid Kurapika when need be. I think that's kind of cool. But then we do have Gon's list here. This is green Gon, which is not a bad deck. I mean, the only loss with Winter here, I think, was Kurapika. And yeah, because of a slow start and a Hisoka wall, this deck played fantastic. So if you really need really strong list in any deck that gets played, Winter really plays really well. He's a very strong competitor, does well in major events whenever he plays card games. So definitely one of the few people you should be following in deck design. So I think this is another great deck to base around and get your reps in. I think if Winter's made it, you definitely want to follow kind of his style. Then we did get Captain Yamamoto, 4th place. Again, this is showing that Yamamoto is doing some stuff in the format. Then we did get another Yamamoto, but splashing in Kenpachi Zaraki. No Unohana, by the way. That's kind of cool and interesting. So they focused on Yamamoto with Kenpachi being able to remove with Yachiro, being able to unsuspend that, you know, big boy Kenpachi and be able to swing in. So it's kind of cool where you guys get your thought processes sometimes, and it's really awesome. Then another Yamamoto list, this time with 4 Toshiro and 4 Yamamoto and 2 Kenpachi Zaraki. So definitely removal threat here, because Kenpachi being able to be another removal with your, you know, 2 big boy removals here as well with Himimaru and Tenchi. This is all great stuff. And I think really hybrid splashing stuff and getting these weird ratios is always cool to see, because maybe this might spark your ideas of going like, yeah, I kind of want to do Kenpachi with Toshi and, you know, Yamamoto. This looks like you can do quite well without Unohana. So might be just tweaking ratios and not focusing on Unohana herself is going to be very interesting. And then here's another one with a Toshi. So one against purple Bleach, yellow Stern Ritters, and purple Bleach. You know, very strong decks. Purple Bleach is very strong. But taking a look, it's same thing, a little bit of a hybrid list, you know, 2 Toshis, 4 Yamamotos, and 1 Unohana. I love the Toshi tech because it makes a lot of sense, because what makes decks kind of just crumble a little bit to Toshi's effects are what you want to see. So I definitely like where it's going. Very, very good. Excuse me. Excuse me. Did we skip? Did we skip? Yep, went undefeated with Old Man Yamamoto again. So taking a look here, tagging in the Kenpachis and the Toshis. So it seems like, and the Unohanas. So it looks like people are starting to delve into using Captain Yamamoto as another push target, but actually using like Kenpachis and going like a Toshi style Yamamoto. I don't know how well this is going to work long term, but with the amount of 2-drop shenanigans you can do, I think there's a lot of possibilities in plays. We'll have to see if this holds up long term. And then another Toshiro deck. So this is Toshiro. This is just stock list that you kind of expect. Yeah, this one is commonplace here. But 2 Kenpachis, 3 Unohanas, Toshiro, and then the Captain Yamamoto to generate some energy in the front line. Then we did have all rounds against purple Bleach. Wow. Wow. No Yachiru, but you know what? Kenpachis, Toshis, and Unohanas. Then we did get the, you know, this one is classified purple Ichigo with Renji. I think this is Byakuya Ichigo. I would call this Ichigo. Very interesting list. Not a bad one at all. At all. Now let's take a look. This one was another... Ooh, this is Michael's list. As you can see, does the raid Renji splash. This is just basically Ichigo with Renji. Not bad. You know, you kind of expected 4 Ichigo, 1 Renji, 3 0-drop Renjis with a Kosuke. Kosuke being... I like that they have this trigger here. This trigger, I think, is starting to become more and more prevalent, is that you want to have the ability to unsuspend a target to get an extra block in, because sometimes you just need 1 damage to kind of just alleviate that stress, and then you have a big enough body to block the rest. So I think having these insecurities starting to show that you need them, and even from my testing. Did we do that? Yep. So taking a look here, this is the hybrid deck I was mentioning. This is a Genthro plus Killua combination. So using the bomber strats to be able to help remove and keep threats low enough so that you can get in with your Killuas and your Genthro raids. And again, this is a very interesting hybrid. Some people are really interested in these kind of styles of play, and it's kind of cool. And then here's another one. This is another hybrid. This one was the kind of the first one to pop up, but again, raidless style of play. You do have ways of raiding with Jethro to be able to remove threats, but you know, you have a boss that's going to help alleviate the stress by lowering the DP threshold of a lot of your threats, and it's really good. Kind of cool to see. And then here's another purple Bleach. I forgot that this should have been up there, but this is raidless Bleach as always, just raidless Bleach. Then we do have Ichigo with 4 Rukia, Ichigo. Not bad. I'll have to see if this is just the base set of Ichigo you want to go with, but not bad at all. And then finally, the first place Stern Ritters. So there was a little bit of a correction to the list, if you guys can see. There is, had an extra sleeved up, had some extra sleeved up, and was decided before the match started what to run, grab them, and give for the deck list. Blindly sorted, blindly sorry about that. 1 Nene plus -1 Masculent. So he did not play the event with the extra, which is what probably threw people off. So it's -1 this one, and then Nene. Who's the Nene? Masculine is -1, and 1 Nane. Maybe, oh, him. So this one and this one gets removed. So there was 52 in his list right here in this photo. Just remove the Nana here and Masculine, and you got the list. Okay, it's kind of cool to see the Stern Raiders do something, and it's not... I think this is also where people are kind of getting at. I think this is the raidless version, only having, you know, Asnot and these guys to kind of just raid into what you need, but you're slamming down your big boys constantly. So your opponent has to answer your threats. So definitely interesting to see where they kind of go from here, but I'm definitely liking that yellows can do some shenanigans, but taking a look though, really solid. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you next one. Peace.